सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप.
Over the last few days, we have seen multiple exercises that have been carried out by India. In fact, many would say that this is a power projection that India has been doing with carrying out one of the largest military exercise. How do you really look at in the current situation, keeping in mind that Pakistan basically was trying to ape a similar sort of an exercise on their side? And as far as the eastern side is concerned, how exactly are things really changing? That's the debate.
This is just a glimpse of India's multi-domain war preparedness through Trishul exercises.
इन नेवी में कम से कम 20 से 25 शिप्स पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं. उसी हिसाब से एयरफोर्स के भी लार्जर नंबर 40 से प्लस फाइटर एयरक्राफ्ट एंड अदर सपोर्ट एयरक्राफ्ट आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग.
The scale of preparation can be gauged from the fact that at least 5 commands each of the Army and the Air Force and all the 3 commands of the Indian Navy are mobilized in this massive muscle flex. With 6 NOTAMs in place, from the western seaboard to the northeast mountains, from the shore to the ship, from the jungles to the skies. To the west, the naval might south of Karachi. To the east, the Bay of Bengal logged. And now, the Air Force has extended its NOTAM in the northeast for exercise Gajraj to 3 months till January 15, 2026.
Every soldier knows the mission. Every heart beats with the same purpose. The battle-ready amphibious formations of the Bison Division surge forward to the port of embarkation, where land meets sea and steel meets salt. Here, the amphibians join hands with the Indian Navy.
Message is clear. Northeast is not landlocked. It is our neighborhood that is logged. This is not just war gaming. This is an all-out validation of every muscle, every sinew of India's war machine. And who knows, perhaps a small operation hidden in the midst of exercises, achieving a military purpose, securing our frontiers. The message: we are not just ready, we are showcasing the new normal.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on the debate we have two of India's finest strategic minds, Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar and Lieutenant General Raj Shukla. General Raj Shukla, thank you very much for joining us, and General P.R. Shankar also. Of course, we've also had the Pakistani sides joining us. But first, let me put the focus on this entire exercise that is being carried out. General Shukla, I want to begin by asking you, while many would think that this was a Pakistan-centric sort of an exercise to have been carried out, particularly along the western border, and not to forget the significance of it close to Sir Creek, my understanding is that it is way beyond that. It is about the cutting-edge capabilities that are essentially at display right now, with one of the largest exercises to have been carried out. General Raj Shukla, first, your understanding of the exercises that are being carried out.
So see, at the heart of this exercise Trishul, this tri-service exercise, my understanding is at the heart of it lies deft politico-military signaling of various hues. Now see, what does that mean? We are telling those that matter, and those people get the signals, that our patience with acts of terror is over. That is not only the political wisdom in India, but also the popular mood. India has many aces up its sleeve as part of these new normals in our strategic calculus. And what we are saying that post 10th May, there is a lot of room for us to go up the escalatory ladder. We have options at sea. If you recall, wahan to ek bhi gola nahi daga gaya tha. We have unconsummated options in the air domain. Now that we have, called out Pakistan's nuclear bluff, not only us, but the West has realized that it was a nuclear bluff. I have commanded a division along the line of control. I can tell you there is a lot of unlocked offensive potential along the line of control. The Bharat battalions are just one signal. The IBGs can manifest along the IB. Even the IB is kosher. We have plans along the run of Kutch. You would have noticed that we have mobilized our space and cyber assets. That is untapped potential. So finally, we are a responsible power, a status quoist nation. But if you provoke us on acts of terror, the days of strategic restraint are over. You will now see our offensive poise being unlocked. And the message is universal. It is 360 degrees. Some people warned us that attacks may manifest from the east. So we are prepared along the east. The western horizons, the eastern horizons. And this is just not glib talk. We have well-rehearsed, distinct military options. And that's why, we have been reiterating that Op Sindoor has not been seized. It's only in pause. And General Shankar is here. I would like to recall for him, he's been my mentor, but for anybody who'd care to listen, that India's instrument of force is well-oiled, it is potent, it is calibrated, and unlike some rogue militaries, we are under complete political control. Complete political control. And so I just want to recall an exercise called Brass Tacks in 1986-1987. That exercise saw the genius of General Sundarji and General Hanuj Singh unfold. I was a young captain, and what we did was that we amassed India's entire mechanized potential, some 5 lakh troops if I'm not mistaken, and there were a series of exercises, Brass Tacks, Trident, Checkerboard, Falcon, Hammer's Head, and so on and so forth. It was a massive airland maneuver which told the Pakistanis that, listen, if you provoke us one wheel to the west, and after Bangladesh, which was a new geopolitical reality, you will be further balkanized. Zia was not smart enough to get the message, but Mirza Aslam Beg, who was a brighter Pakistani general, he got the message. And Pakistan returned for decades into the LIC. They said conventionally, Bharat ka mukabla hum nahi kar sakte hain. So the point really is here. I don't wish to demonstrate any hubris, but please realize that you are 1/10 of our economic size. Your economy is not more than the market cap of the Bombay Stock Exchange. You have got a power to reckon with. You have ruined your statecraft. You have got India's military might to the west. You've messed around with East, Taliban to the west, and internally you're imploding. So I pity your plight, your statecraft. आसिम मुनीर, कुरान के तो हाफिज जरूर हैं, बट जहां तक जंग और सामरिक दस्तूर का सवाल है, वो जाहिल है. He is strategically illiterate, it seems to me, to have got Pakistan to such a mess. So that is our signaling. We are responsible, we are restrained, but should you mess with us, and particularly on an act of terror, we will resume the ignominy of where we left off on 10th of May. That is my understanding as an independent observer of what we could be up to. We've done it in the past, brass tacks, we could do it again.
Let me take this, General Shankar, bear with me. I just want to take this with Major Nadeem joining us from Islamabad. Major Nadeem, General Raj Shukla has not taken your name, but very clearly pointed out, are you getting the message? Major Nadeem, I think so the messaging was very clear. I hope you are getting the message, because I think that is the intention. While I would only beg to differ here, General Shukla, only thing I would say that I don't feel personally that this is only about Pakistan. There is much more to it. But Major Nadeem, since he is there, and General Raj Shukla very well enumerated this entire purpose of the exercise. Major Nadeem, are you getting the message?
Shravan, I didn't say it is just Pakistan oriented. I said the signals are all around.
Sir, I'm listening.
Go ahead, Major Nadeem.
Hello. In my understanding,
Major Nadeem, are you looking for the script right now?
Issue.
Major Nadeem, if you're not prepared, then I can take one of your other colleagues to actually fill in for you. Can you hear me? Okay, General.
Sir, I'm trying to connect you, maybe because of some network problem I'm facing.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can hear you, but due to unstable network, I may not be able to.
Okay, we'll try and fix.
I'm trying.
I'll try and fix that. We'll try and fix your. We'll fix your line. We'll try and fix your line.
In my opinion, your exercise, in my understanding, sir, in my understanding, your exercises, the tri-services exercise or the shoal exercise, are basically provocative and jingoistic and delusional actions from the Indian side. And this is just the wastage of money as well, in my opinion, because both the countries are nuclear country, and generals are very well know the nuclear threshold for a country whose posture is defensive and who has got a very small waist. And the distance of our provincial capital, Punjab capital, Lahore, from the border. So whatsoever exercise you do, we are just watching it and we are taking countermeasures against it. But your people and your army and military brass is failed to understand that they are doing conventional type of exercises. They are doing amphibious actions, and they are again.
Okay, we seem to be having some trouble with Major Nadeem. General Shankar, if I can bring you in.
Not test the Air Force now. They should test their Navy this time, right? They should test the Navy and along with their Army. And they can think about they should not even think about the amphibious operation also, right? This was the time that you should bring the Vikrant ahead of your jetties and bring towards the Bahari Arab so that we can at least see it, okay, right? It is a very vulnerable aircraft in the whole world. It is the antique now. It is a decoration piece.
You should be worried more, Major Nadeem, you should be worried more about your situation right now.
If you will do these such why we should be worried?
Yeah, I'll give you multiple reasons for it. Don't worry. I'll give you multiple reasons for it. General Raj Shukla started by essentially pointing out the condition that you are in, particularly economically speaking. But having said that, General Shankar, if I may bring you in, the point that General Shukla was also making, that this was a 360 degree exercise that is being carried out. From your understanding, General Shankar, we have spoken in the past also, but it is important since we have the Pakistanis with us on this broadcast too. You have Major Nadeem saying that this is provocative in nature. The exercise has a message, and the message is very clear. General Shankar, I want to bring you in.
Yeah, thanks a lot. What I'd like to say is, what is India doing? So that, Pakistanis, I'm sure they're intelligent enough to understand what we are doing once we tell them what we are doing. First and foremost, this is a multi-domain exercise, right, in a joint setting, right, with a whole lot of integrated firing which has been carried out right from the Southern Command to the Northern Command and with Southwestern Command. It is just not moving tanks here and there and, showing off and all that. There's a whole lot of joint logistics operations going on, joint C3I going on, joint ISR, and integration of firepower and all that. It is joint capabilities. This kind of an exercise indicates a lot. It indicates a lot, like you said, 360 degrees. It indicates a lot to our Western, neighbor, as also to our Eastern neighbor or our Northern neighbor, the way you look at it. As of, what you showed earlier, there are certain exercises going on in the Northeast also. It very clearly indicates that we will be able to take on anything from anywhere. Right? I think we've crossed the threshold. And this is something which Pakistan needs to understand. And not only Pakistan, even China needs to understand this. Right? And we saw that happening in Ops Sindoor, whatever happened. Right? All they can keep saying is Rafales, sometimes it's 6, sometimes 7, sometimes 8, and they can't go beyond that count. Right, and that's how it is. That's okay. That's their way of putting things across. But we are looking ahead. And the next action need not be confined to those 4 days. It need not be confined to 12 BrahMos missiles. And they should understand what is coming from here. And they should understand it will come 3-dimensionally, right? And it will come from all 3 services. And like our Prime Minister has said, look, he's publicly said this, that look, next time we might like to open up with the Navy. Well, it's largely up to Pakistan, how they want to respond or not respond. But primarily, this is an exercise for our internal purposes with an external message. I do hope they get the message. If they don't get the message and try something, well, we'll do what we have to do, as simple as that. But having said that, look, at this point of time, where is Pakistan? They're stuck with the Afghan front. I mean, by their own reckoning, it is as people have written in their major newspapers and all that, they're in a 2-front situation externally with Afghanistan and India. Internally, they are on a 3-front situation with BLA, TTP and KPK, right? And they are TTP, basically. So they are in a mess. And now they are going in for that great 27th Amendment, where they're going to anoint that gentleman, as, what, Field Marshal for life into whatever he is, because they're restructuring the whole thing. And there's a whole lot of thing. But in all this, they might try something funny and try to externalize their problems, which is the history of Pakistan. So in which case, well, this is what they're going to get. We're showing it to them. Okay. This is not wasting money. This is very purposeful and oriented, and we are rehearsing the whole story.
It's very rich.
One of these options which are being tried out in this point will unfold. As simple as that.
It's very rich, General Raj Shukla and General P.R. Shankar, when the Pakistanis essentially say that we are wasting money with the military exercise. But that's not the point. Dr. Sundar, I want to bring you in here. Why is it that Pakistan isn't understanding the hot mess that they are in right now? Your talks in Istanbul have failed. The Afghans are also not willing to have any sort of a dialogue with you anymore, given the fact that the messaging that came in from the foreign minister was very different. And despite that, the kind of warmongering that you're essentially doing with the Afghans, your situation is quite nimble right now, and you're trying to play with fire when it comes to provoking the Bangladeshis.
Thank you for having me in your program. First of all, allow me to answer what your respected guest has just accused and said about Pakistan side. First of all, if you still think that countries like China and Pakistan still need to understand that established defense military countries like India has been doing its military exercises as a routine, something like routine exercises. So we thoroughly understand that if you are doing this military exercise, this is for your goodwill. This is a goodwill gesture, and we appreciate it. We don't have any insecurities and we shivers and all that stuff. This is only fabricated story of India. If you mistakenly thought that we are afraid of, if India is doing routine exercises on their own land, what I just cannot digest the fact that if you are assuming that we are afraid of this, as even Donald Trump has said that we have said that 6-0, the whole world know, even Donald Trump says 7, and now Donald Trump has mistakenly increased the number 8. So this whole world know what happened in Operation Banana versus Field Marshal. And your first guess has said this is his personal observation with the language, the words he used about Field Marshal Asim Munir. If this is a personal observation, we can only feel sorry about him, and we can only feel sorry
it's
about his
out
personal
there, Dr.
observation.
Mustaqin. Dr. Mustaqin, it's out there for everyone to basically see how exactly Asim Munir is basically conducting himself. He's anything but a professional army. He's anything but a professional. He is more like a salesman, someone who is busy now trying to sell almost every asset of the Pakistanis. You should actually be very concerned. But having said that, if you find humor in it, good for you. If you find humor in this, if you find humor in this, it's good for you. It's none of our concern after a point in time. General Shukla, you've already heard Major Nadeem.
Allow me to answer your question.
Yeah, go ahead, make your point. Go ahead, you make your point, and then I'll bring it to General Shukla.
You want me to answer your question? You want me to answer your question? You asked something asked about the one in Taliban. You want me to answer that?
Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Even Muttaqi Saab, while sitting in your own land and in India, he said that we want to develop good friendly ties both with India and Pakistan at the same time. And you mistakenly thought if the interim government of Afghanistan is meeting with India, is going to against with Pakistan. He said that there is a group of people, terrorist group of people in far region of Pakistan border who is doing terrorist activities. The government is not doing that actually. Muttaqi Saab wants to develop good, Afghanistan government wants to develop good ties with both India and Pakistan equally at the same time. It's India who is actually knocking the door of China and Taliban regime because no one is accepting India in the whole South Asia region. You are an isolated state.
Okay.
You are not even having good ties with Bangladesh and Pakistan and China. You know, you are
Dr. Mustaqin, let me just.
So you are one who is actually knocking doors on both China and
it's important. It's important, Dr. Mustaqin, that you basically come out of the island that you're essentially living in, and perhaps you would like to have that entire thought process that we are basically isolated. We are anything but isolated. Having said that, that's not what my focus area is right now. General Raj Shukla, I want to bring you back in this. Two aspects that I want to focus on. One, of course, what the Pakistanis have said. Second, on the Eastern Front, the NOTAM that has basically been issued has now been, increased till about January. And obviously the messaging that has been done on that front too. But the Pakistanis are also playing with fire by basically provoking those within the interim government of Muhammad Yunus.
So, this is a response to Mr. Muhammad Yunus suddenly discovering the landlockedness of India's northeastern states, DGISI traveling rather frequently to Dhaka, the threats of Asim Munir and DGISI that the next attack could come from the east. Now, if this is the kind of language coming out of Pakistan, India reserves the right to respond. And therefore, how are these exercises provocative? As a military man, the purpose of exercises is to test concepts, validate them, and to update your readiness. I'm surprised that a fellow soldier should say that exercises are a waste of money. Exercises are blood and toil. They indicate military readiness.
I didn't say. But in this scenario, you are rehearsing, you are exercising with trial services, and you are practicing for the amphibious operation. You are practicing with the Rajasthan with the armor breakout.
Okay, Major Nadeem, let General Shukla make his point. Let General Shukla make his point.
that is something which gets me wondering again. The character of war has changed. It is no longer single service. It is joint in nature. It is joined by character. And India now is, moving towards theaterization, theater commands. Normally, militaries set up these structures in peace. Pakistan is giving us a live theater to experiment with various concepts of theaterization. So it's a gift given to us by Pakistan. Let me also say, you see, we are professionals at the end of the day. What Major Saab was saying, what the learned doctor was saying, there is one truth in national security and geopolitics. The realities are brutal. No amount of spin can change the reality, neither my spin nor Major Saab's spin. So, when I observe realities, I also notice, and I would like to advise Pakistan, कि in their desperation they are running to Saudi Arabia, to Turkey. अरे ये सब छोड़ के भागेंगे आपको. कोई क्या हुआ था 1971 में? कोई आपके काम नहीं आया. So you have to rely on your intrinsic strengths. None of these alliances will do any good to you. And may I offer some unsolicited advice कि आपकी इकोनॉमी 1 ट्रिलियन तो छू जाए, उसके बाद ये करिएगा ये सब. अभी कहाँ आप घूम रहे हैं, some 930 billion or something. अपनी आप इकोनॉमी का हाल देखें, 1 ट्रिलियन पहुंचे, फिर करेंगे ये सब चीजें.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, soldier to soldier, there are many Pakistani generals to be admired. General Jahangir Karamat, many Indian army officers admire him. But Asim Munir Saab jo hai, and as I said, he may be a hafiz of the Quran, I respect that. But in the strategic military domain, his professional acumen, whenever I've heard him, whenever I've seen him engage,
okay,
he comes across as very shallow. So, उन जैसे मुर्शीद जो हैं, let me paraphrase Ziaul Haq in a different context, वो पाकिस्तान को मरवा देंगे. That's my big concern.
I just have 30 seconds. Dr. Mustaqeen, I don't have the time, but I just want to give that last word to General Shankar. General Shankar, I'm in want of time, but I want to just give you that last word right now. The messaging apart, the way we are basically spreading our tentacles also.
Yeah, there's no doubt. India is a regional stabilizing force in this area. You must understand, last 2 months back, Malaysia, Indonesia and Singapore came to us to ask for joint patrolling of the Malacca Straits. Right? We've carried out anti-piracy operations in conjunction with the US forces 3-4 months back off the Somalian coast. We have a wide area. We are a far bigger actor than just looking at Pakistan and, just saying we are going to only look after our border. We have a greater regional responsibility. Pakistan might like to think that it wants to be equated with us, but the fact is that Asim Munir is just a salesman of rocks. He's going to Trump and selling rocks. To that extent, he's a rock star salesman. That's it. I agree with him completely. Okay, and he's mostly selling Pakistan away. Okay, and doing all funny deals like giving Pasni to Americans and all.
If you allow me, I can ask one question.
Why are we even equating ourselves with them and talking with them?
That's why I basically I started this entire program by saying that this is not about perhaps one country specific. There is a large messaging that has to be done.
Let me ask one question if you allow.
Major Nadeem, I'll bring you back again. Now, this is not stopping anytime soon, and I'm given to understand that you are also up to something, so this will also allow us to continue with our debate. Thank you very much, General Raj Shukla and General P.R. Shankar for joining us on this broadcast, and Major Nadeem. That's all that we could pack in the second debate tonight. Coming up, it's the Congress's Muslim appeasement which is back as the talking point tonight. That's the debate with my colleague Niranjan and Abhishek.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला.
Sip sip jeera sip MDH का जल जीरा sip. MDH का जल जीरा sip.